Hi everyone, Russell here. Today's an exciting day. Apex Sports in Colorado Springs just called, and a few of the accessories I ordered are in. So we're going to install these. So the switch plate is required for the windshield wiper kit. And then we also have the rear panel. I did opt for the glass instead of the poly windshield. Just seems to be a little more durable and doesn't scratch up typically. Step one of installing the rear panel on the Honda Talon is removing these 4 large bolts, which are a 5mm Allen, which you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 on the roof. And then there's going to be 2 4mm Allens, one right here in the front middle of the roof, one here on the back middle of the roof. And that will get your roof off, step 1 of insulation. Okay, the next step is to remove these 2 clips, which I've already done, which look just like these. Just get a screwdriver in there and kind of gently pry them up and then pull them out. All right, so a correction on the foam. There's 2 different foam strips. The longer foam strip, which is a little more smooth, save that. That goes across the top of the roll bar. The thinner one goes on the bottom of the panel. So in the video, I showed you wrong, sorry. But hopefully you won't make the same mistake that I did. Okay, the next step is to apply this foam. So keep in mind this came in one long piece. Honda says to cut it at 15 3/4 inch length. I just haven't done it yet. It's supposed to be cut off about here on both sides. So I just cut it in half, and then it's adhesive on one side. So keep in mind there's going to be 2 packages. One says like foam and the other one's like foam sealer. So this one goes on a different location. And how to tell the difference, the one that goes on the lower piece here is a lot longer. So like I said, I just cut it in half and then adhered it to where the directions said for it to go. And then the next step will be right here, you'll have this little trim piece that comes in the kit. This kind of has like a velvety side, and you just push that in the full length all the way down, and that's where the plexi will sit inside of there. And so this is the bottom part of the window. So for the next step, it doesn't say this in the directions, but I just took out the little clips. Let's see, where are they? The little plastic clips out of here, both sides. And then you'll find there's 2 12mm bolts, one here, and then there's 2 12mm nuts here and here. And then you can just take out the entire seat, and it's going to make getting to that back panel a lot easier. Okay, the next thing you'll want to do, so we have the foam here attached. You'll see the Honda emblem that is there on the left. The little bracket right here, that's where we removed the 2 plastic clips. Goes right there. And then how I got this in is really compressing that foam. Compressing it as much as you can and slowly push down. Okay, and this is going to be the barrier to keep dust out of the cab. So you'll see it kind of got it flush in there and then all the way across. Okay, you'll also want to install the large clamp. Right there, you'll see large clamps. So on each side by the seatbelt, the other clamp is there. and then the small clamps. So these small clamps will go in before you put the bottom bracket in. So then you'll line up the small clamps with that on each side. And I'm also going to take the driver's seat out here in a minute just to make it easier. And then too, if you're not familiar, this middle panel right here just pops out. You just pull it forward and right there is your fuse panel. All right, so we're going to take the driver's seat out. I didn't really show this on the passenger, but right there, a little clip, pull up on that, pull the lower part of the seat out. Okay, on the passenger side, there's 2 bolts, but here we have 4 nuts. So the passenger side's 2 bolts, 2 nuts, this side's 4 nuts, and those are 12mm. So we pull those out, and then you can take the driver's seat out, because you'll see that clip is supposed to go right there. And I think it's easier to take the seat out than to try and get a wrench back there and tighten it up. Okay, so we have the rear panel in. A little update. I did take these large clamps off while inserting the glass, and to get the glass in, I kind of slid it in through here and then back over the other side. It was super tight and very difficult getting that into place. And then you have to watch, so you'll try to push it in place and the glass will be caught on that or pushing on that top little bracket. And then before you tighten anything down, make sure that this rubber is still in the proper place. Because when I looked around, a lot of it was pushed all the way in and not really sealing itself. So you just want to look on both sides that the rubber is in place, and then all the way along the top. And then once I slid the glass into place, I put these brackets back on with no problem. So you'll see the flat straight edges on the back, and then this little bent piece will go over here. And then same thing with this, with the small bracket, the straight part on the back, and then that part there for both sides. So once it's in, then we'll start bolting it down next. Okay, so we got the large brackets loosely installed. Peeled the plastic protection back on each side. And then got the bolts loosely installed there on both sides. Having the seats out makes a huge difference. Okay, have the clips partially installed again. And then the larger of the 2 foam strips, which this is a correction from the video earlier, the large foam strip is going to go across right here, adhere to here, all the way across. When I was looking in the directions, it showed that the shorter piece went down here, and that is not correct. So this one that's a little bit rougher and shorter actually goes there, and this one goes on top. So I happen to have some extra weather stripping laying around, so I'm gonna go ahead and correct that now. Okay, the final steps is, so this is the bracket. So we'll slide the bracket. It has the 2 bolts through the 2 holes in the plexi. Then you'll come around and put a washer and a nut on this side. Then the next step is to install the roof, but I'm not going to put the roof on yet because I still have the front windshield to do. So the final steps would be to put the roof on, and when you put the roof on, that original bolt that came on is going to go through the window bracket, through the bracket on the roll bar, and then into the roof. Once you have that lined up and started, then you'll go around, tighten both top clamps on both sides, tighten both small clamps on both sides, and complete. You have a Honda Talon Rear panel.